here with my brother and co-host Brian, the Super Mad Spartan. He's pretty calm right now, since there's no football action going on, but everything is all good. So, continuing our Classic Spartan series, we have here another legendary Spartan, Mr. Greg Jones of the Mark D'Antonio era. He was very instrumental in bringing back the illustrious glory of the Spartans, the Spartan dogs, and everything that comes with it. How you doing, Mr. Greg Jones, sir?
I've been blessed, y'all. Thank you again for the intro, dude. You made me always rethink and relive so many moments just hearing that, though. But honestly, man, it's been a true pleasure, to be here, and I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to speak on your platform. And again, man, any Spartan out there, always love it, man. Always love connecting and getting to meet new people, man. And keep growing Spartan Nation.
Yes, man. Yes, yes, yes. It's a pleasure to have you on here. Pleasure to have you on
Definitely
here.
appreciate you having joined us for tonight. It's
Yeah.
always good to connect with people, and I thank you so much for being on with us.
No problem at all, guys. Excited.
Yes, yes, yes. So, let's just jump right into it, man. So, like we were saying, like we're kind of geeking out before the show started. You were part of, the comeback of the Spartan glory. Back in the I guess I have the 2010s, I guess I would say, with
Yeah. Yeah.
Mark D'Antonio. The no fly zone era.
Yeah.
That whole thing there. So, my first question is, what made you come to Michigan State? What made you choose the Spartan dogs, the Spartan dog way of life?
Dude, I was just talking to I train kids now, and I know we get to that a little bit, but I was talking to a parent, and when I was talking to the parent, they were asking me like, and the kid asked me, he's like, man, like, how did you even like come here? Like, how did it happen? I was originally recruited to Minnesota, right?
Oh, okay.
And at the time, the head coach was Glenn Mason,
Yep, I
right?
remember him. Yep.
Yeah, and he's now a speaker on Big Ten Network, and
Yes.
and Glenn was they're in the bowl game again. They're in Minnesota bowl game against Texas Tech. At the time, Michael Crabtree was a receiver on Texas Tech team, right? And the reason why that's important is because, and they were winning the game. They were up going into the third or fourth quarter, dude. They were up like 35 to like 7 or something
Ooh.
like that. And they lost that game. Michael Crabtree had 4 touchdowns or so in the fourth quarter, right? And
Mm.
yeah, dude. And they lost. Glenn Mason was let go uh, right after the game, like almost
Okay.
immediately, and my phone is blowing up, and you know what I mean, the whole thing. And so I reopened my recruitment because I was committed to playing for Glenn Mason, and I had to rethink things. I'm an only child, so I didn't know I didn't know what to do, who to trust. So I just took some time. I'll reopen and looked at my options. And as John L. Smith was being let go, Coach D was leaving Cincinnati and coming to Michigan State, where he originally recruited me at Cincinnati and came to Michigan State. And so from there, I got the call from Mike Tressel, who was the linebackers coach at the time there,
Mm-hmm.
coached me for 4 years. And he said, hey, you want a shot at the Big Ten? Here's your opportunity. I'm extending the offer to you. We want to set up an official visit. If you want to go, and my mom and dad were on board. We went, fell in love with Michigan State and the people there, and then the staff I already knew for the most part because I got to know them in Cincinnati. So it was pretty cool. It was really cool. It was easy, and then what really solidified it for me was going to spring ball that season before I came. Was going to that spring ball and looking at some of the guys that were at the time there, and just knowing that I would be able to have a shot, an opportunity to prove myself, to earn some playing time. And it ended up being more than just some playing time. It ended up being great 4 years, and lead my team in tackles all 4 years. The whole thing. So, just truly blessed. That the opportunity came about the way it did. He works in strange ways. So, it was a true blessing to get there and be with the right staff and have the right teammates and leadership. And that's what really brought me, to Michigan State.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That is awesome. That is awesome, man.
yeah.
Yeah, that was, like I said, when you were there. And what's funny is our podcast basically is just conversations that me and Brian had
Mm-hmm.
like for
Yes.
years watching Michigan State football.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot when we watched you play. And I said, say this before, I'm going to continue to say it was just glorious. I mean, just watching your play,
Thank you.
this the great, tackles you made and plays.
Thank you.
Me and Brian, we just talked all the time about, the no fly zone,
Yeah.
I mean, just the whole team itself for those years that you were there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had a lot of conversations, man. It
The
was glorious.
foundation. I
Right,
would say
right.
Greg Jones. That was the foundational class of bringing Mark D'Antonio in, and then showing the heights that Spartan football could be at. Because before then, it had been some tough years, and
Yeah.
then when Mark D'Antonio came and started righting the ship, you were pivotal players. Like I said, it was a great journey to watch you all play, and a lot of success for you guys.
I appreciate it, man. I think that it was a bunch of guys, and it started with Coach D. Just one leveling everyone's ego to the point where, like, we all have something to gain. It wasn't like we're too good, or to your point, like everybody's in a rough time. If you're a freshman, like you're coming into a rough time. If you were a senior, you have been through 3 or 4 years of a rough time. So sorry about that. You know what I mean? So these are some of the things I'm like, dude, like everybody got to just understand that we are here to work and earn our name and earn the respect. I mean, our first 2 years, that's all we talked about was just earning respect. One beating the school down the street, which you know what I mean. That was
Yes.
some people call it little brother. I call it the flute game. Um, right? I mean, for real, we
Yes.
win the time and in a fumble. You know what I mean? Like it's a fluke, but whatever. But you go through that, and then the next, we end up winning out. But honestly, man, like I think that the mindset and the mentality from Coach D was not only just understood, it was a true buy-in because it was honesty. He was not like about to say, "Oh yeah, you guys are going to play in the NFL." Like he didn't know if anybody was going to the NFL. All we were all concerned about was winning the next game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was important. And you had a bunch of guys like myself. I was a three-star guy. Kirk Cousins, Trey Waynes, C.R. Rucker, guys like Le'Veon Bell, you know what I mean, that were all, right, somewhat not really on the radar, and
Mm-hmm.
as I thought, it's so beautiful. And I sometimes still teach and preach to a lot of other young guys coming out. It's like, it's not about the stars, and it never will be, because we've seen it time and time again that 5 star, 4 stars, whatever, how many stars you got, means nothing until you get onto that field. And about 2 years ago, I was at State, and I was on a panel, and I was asked to speak to the incoming freshmen. And I asked them, I said, how many of you guys really know, right, what your stars mean? And nobody hands went up. And they were with their parents. I wasn't mean
Mm-hmm.
or like that. I wasn't trying to embarrass them, but I'm like, do you know what that star really means? And so I pulled it up on my phone, and when I started reading those things, they were like, their eyes got kind of high, because I'm like, dude, like you don't even know what they're saying about you. You just want a star that want a star. You just want more than the next guy. And I respect the hustle, but your whole validation is put into some type of a writer or somebody else's opinion, and you don't even have the best opinion of yourself before you get into Michigan State. So And I took it as a chip on my shoulder that they gave me a 2-star or a 3-star, right? Because at the end of the day, every single 5-star that whether walked into Michigan State or any other school, and you step between those lines, I don't care about no stars. You know what I mean? We gonna we gonna find out, okay?
Right, right,
If I left
right.
that with impression, we gonna see what's up, boy. We gonna find out. Get what I'm saying, right? We not about
Yeah,
because dog, like so many of these young guys and some coaches and they buy into it. Like he's a 3-star I'm like, dude, like, well, how come he don't get to the ball like I can, right? And
right,
I would just say, hey, look, if you a 4-star, that means that you should be getting to the ball more than I am. And every year, right, they recruited, they go get these 4-star, 5-stars, and every year they look up the tackles. You're behind Greg Jones, a little 2/3-star guy. Every
mm-hmm.
time
Oh yeah,
that wasn't like again like a gloating or like you know what I mean putting on, but it was an understanding that it's not about like what somebody else says about you. It's intrinsic. It's what you have and what you bring to the table and who you are and who you will become too. There's a
right,
what I most is and even myself is that it wasn't when I started making plays. It was like, man, well before that in training camp, and I'm getting stronger and I'm learning to get my butt up and get to class. And you know what I mean? All those
mm-hmm.
things that, eventually we're going to have to be able to do as young men and young women that are, in college sports, but as it pertains to football, but as young men will do one day. And I think that was the real nugget of what we were trying to accomplish. And it trickled on, you know what I mean? Because it from me and it got passed down and it got passed down and obviously we had some struggles with the baton pass late as of late, but I think the greatest thing though, man, is who we became along the way. Not just the end results of a Big Ten championship or a Rose Bowl. I think it was who we all became, and what led to, as you talked about, Brian. What I mean, building onto that foundation that not just myself, but 90. I think we had 106 players, so another 105 guys also put in that work that were able to stay though. But yeah, man, sorry to go off on a tangent, but yeah, man, that was the mentality that we had going in. I think that for a lot of us, especially the seniors, like I said, myself, Kirk Cousins, Eric Gordon, right, we always kept that with us. The whole 4 years, while I was there, and again, I think it got passed down.
Yeah. I remember. I watched the Divided We Stand documentary,
Yeah,
and
Yes.
yeah,
I always remember what you specifically said on there about how, and you of course can elaborate when you were
yeah.
talking about how you had a visit to Michigan. I think it was you and your mother or your grandmother.
We had a visit to West Virginia.
West
West
Virginia. Okay,
Virginia.
Yes.
Okay,
And Rodriguez was the head coach at the time.
okay,
And
okay.
my mom, and she just passed away this year on May 3rd, 5/3, right?
Oh, oh,
I'm sorry to hear that.
yeah.
I,
Sorry to hear that, man. Sorry to
yeah,
hear that.
thank you, God. And my mom was on dialysis at the time. She had kidney failure, so she was on dialysis at the time. And we had home dialysis, so we had to like do all of her treatment, like speed up her treatment, so that way she could make it through the day, just to get down
Mm-hmm.
and get. And this dude, we get up there, and this dude blew me off. He was like, hey, we walking in, the recruiter, hey, we got Greg Jones, you know what I mean? I got the lanyard, the whole nine, I'm walking on the sideline. We sweating, you know what I mean? It's hot, the whole thing. We done drove 5.5 hours from Cincinnati to West Virginia. And my mom is just sweating, and we have to walk up all these steps and everything. And we get there, and Rodriguez on the sideline, and he looked at me and did one of these, and I said, "I'll bet." I said, "Okay." And then they put us way up in the. I don't know if I ever said this, but they put us way up in the nosebleeds.
Oh
Okay,
wow.
Wow.
way. Bro.
Dang.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I thought I was gonna see Jesus, bro. We way.
Oh wow.
We were so far up there, bro. And we looking at, oh, and we're on the visitor side too, on top of all that too, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we South Florida, we on South Florida side. So I said, oh, so I'm about to cheers for South Florida. So they lost that game, right? South Florida won, And then, right, I get to Michigan State, and sure enough, who shows up?
Rich
2008.
That's
Oh
right.
Rod.
my
Yeah.
God,
Rich Rod.
bro! I can't tell you the smile on my face. I look like the bro. I look like the Grinch, bro. I was smiling. They, what's wrong with you? I said, bro, you don't understand, bro, how we about to get to these guys, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even. I'm a type of dude, man. I didn't even need to go up to him and like, man, see, I beat you. I didn't do that. I just watched the look of regret on his face for 3 years straight, and then
Mm-hmm.
fired too. Oh, I was like, oh, the fact that I had every part to do with that, and I told him to straight to his face. You know what I mean? I'm 35 years old. I'm a man. At this point in time, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. We have not crossed paths at all, but thank God we haven't. Okay, thank God we have.
Yeah.
But I will say this though, man. You know what I mean? Like that drive and motivation. It wasn't again. Like I said before, it was the team, but the personal vendetta I had. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I want all the smoke. I want all the beef. I want it all. Give me all. I want it all, bro. And I would. I mean, you can look at the games, bro. I didn't back down from Jake Long. None of them, dog. Asked them.
No,
You
you
certainly
didn't.
did not.
You
You
didn't. You
man
didn't.
asked them. Right. So and I say that, dude, because I got a kid now. You know what I mean? Like we not about to back down 6'5", 3", whatever, bro. We gonna get to this ball game. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that was that mentality going in though. But yeah, bro, that was painful, bro. Not even like a text, like afterwards, like, man, we really apologize. Like that's not how we do things. Like, let me make it up to you. You know what I mean? Nothing, bro. He just put us in the nosebleeds, told us we left out. That was it, bro. That's the last time I ever talked to that dude ever again.
Mm.
He showed who he was, and you showed who you were.
Right.
That part.
Right.
That part, bro.
Right.
So that was, man, yeah, that was tough, bro. That was tough, man. Because I I think what was so much more painful about it was that my mom was sick. You know what I mean? Had I
Mm-hmm.
been
Yeah.
traveling alone, and you know what I mean, I was able to make it work. But the fact that my mom was not in best of condition,
Mm-hmm.
and not that he knew about it. I will say that he never knew about it. But you also, brother, didn't even try to meet them to ask, right?
Right. Right.
Never,
Didn't even try to get to know you.
right, dude, right, and that's why and I thought I always did a great job, but I was one of those guys, and I still am today, right? Like I always stuck around to sign as many autographs as I can, right? I do whatever I can for any of my fans, anybody that like, man, like Greg, we drove, we this, I'll stay till it get dark out. I will stay and I will sign, I would take pictures. I might be tired, but I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? Because it's real. You know, we people, we human. I'm human.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I may
Yes,
not
indeed.
next, but yeah, bro. Like you just never know, and who you impact, and that impact can be both negative and positive. But that's our choice to make. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, so yeah, with Rich Rod, man, yeah, dog, that was a lesson learned for him. I hope he learned a valuable lesson from Greg Jones. I hope he did. I hope he did. I do.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, Greg, what are some of your other memorable games at Michigan State? Of course,
Oh,
like I said, me and Brian, we geeked out on how you guys whooped up on Michigan, like
yeah.
all day, every day. But what are some other memorable games that you remember where you had your playing time there?
Wow, man, that's such a great question, dude. Most memorable. You know what, man? I'm gonna go with my first game was against UAB, and the reason why it's one of my most memorable because it was my most nervous game of all the games I played in. That was
Mm-hmm.
my most nervous one, and we get into the game, and I didn't think like coach. I had a good camp. I remember I had a really good camp leading up to that first game, and it was a battle. I mean, because I was the freshman coming in, I got the vets looking at me sideways, right? And then the teammate like, yo, you gonna put this young guy in? I'm probably like 215 pounds at the time. You know what I mean? I'm not like where I was when I got to my junior senior year, And I get into the game, dude, and the coach is like, "Hey, when you get in there, I'm calling the blitz. Like, go get them." I'm like, "All right." But sure enough, do I get in the game? Right, coach called a blitz. I run in there, dude. Well, one, he called a blitz, and I had a brain fart, and Caleb Thorne, he's like, "Yo, like, you know what you're doing?" He's like, "You sure? You sure?" Like, yeah, yeah. He's like, looked at me. He's like, "Man, just hit the A gap. Hit the A gap." I'm like, "All right, bet." So, and it was a cross stunt. He went first. I wrapped around. As I'm wrapping around, and coach talked about it, like, "Hey, when you wrap, you're gonna most likely get in shotgun. You're gonna get that tailback coming up." And the tailback tried to block me or cut block me, and I jumped over him at the same time. The quarterback is approaching the pocket, right? He's scooting up in the pocket. I jumped over him. I'm sorry about that. I jumped over him, and I sacked him in my first ever collegiate play, right? In between
Mm-hmm.
the lines. So, and that quarterback ended up being the country singer Sam Hunt. As well.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. Right. Um, that was a really memorable game for me. And then, even though
That's
we
Coach D's
lost,
first. That's the first game too of Coach D's
you got
at
it.
Michigan State. Yeah, yeah.
2007. Yes,
Oh
sir.
yeah,
You got it.
that was okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You got it.
Okay.
And then and as it turned out, like later in my career, I ended up playing with the kicker from that team. His name is Swayze Waters. Ended up
Mm-hmm.
playing with Swayze in the CFL. But that game, and then Boston College, that same year, um, a couple guys got in trouble. I had to step up in our third down package and rush off the edge against. I think the guy ended up going like he went in the tackle went off the first round and then went in the first round, but I beat the tackle and I had a sack fumble against Matty Ice. Um,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
yeah, dude, and so that was a memorable game for me, man. As well, I think our in 2010, Penn State was a really memorable game for us. That was our Big Ten championship.
Yeah, I
Uh,
remember that. Yep.
yeah,
I
Yes.
yeah,
remember that.
yeah. Right after Coach Dia came back from a heart attack, and so that
Oh
was
yeah.
yeah, yeah, and that was a very memorable game for us. And we didn't get in with water. We put we tricked them. We put the confetti inside the water jug, um,
Mm-hmm.
and we threw it on him. And he thanked us for not trying to kill him and freeze him to death. Bro, I look, dog. Look, man. We in Michigan, dog, but it is cold, dog. A night game, white out, the snow. Like, bro, please, when you watch that again, bro, that mug was cold, bro. Right, that mug is
Mm-hmm.
cold. So,
Oh, it's amazing. Oh, it looks cold.
bro, exactly. It looked cold, right? You can see the breath freeze in the air, right? It was cold. Um, but I would say, guys, like honestly, like that was like some of my more memorable games. Any battle we had with Wisconsin, man, I'll be honest with you, man. I was always proud to go in there. Well, really, we split. We never won at Camp Randall. We always won at home
Mm-hmm.
against Wisconsin. But just such beasts, man. Like Gabe Karimi and all those guys. I mean, oh my goodness, it was just a lot of beasts that came out of there as well too. And then Iowa with Sean Green, ended up playing a little bit in the NFL. But yeah, man, those were some very memorable games for me. Uh, Ohio State. I had a cousin named Devere Posey. I don't know if you guys remember Devere, but he
Yes, I
played.
remember the name.
Yeah, he
Yep.
played wide receiver for a while in the league, and then in the CFL, he was a Grey Cup MVP. And it just all those stuff, man. It was just everything was just so memorable, man. That whole journey, those 4 years, was something that I cherish those moments a lot. I mean, the annexation in Puerto Rico, the Notre Dame game, um, had a really good game in that. But I mean, there's nothing like watching Aaron Bates throw that ball to Charlie Gant.
Oh yeah, Little
So
Giants, right? Talking about
Yes,
Little
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 Giants,
Giants.
Giants.
Yeah.
Little Giants, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So the original, By the way, why it was called Little Giants was because the original play was annexation of Puerto Rico, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
that's when they do the crazy. I mean, I got kids now, so I don't watch little. I watch Little Giants probably like 15 times all fall, which I love. I anytime
Right.
I watch that with my two boys and my daughter, I'll do that. But my point being is that it was so long to say in the huddle, nobody could get it out in the huddle, so we just called it Little Giants. Um, so it was easy, but we all knew about it. But it just such a gutsy call, man. The call
Oh yeah.
with
Yeah.
with with quote unquote 1 second or no seconds left on the clock. Was there offensive pass interference? Did we have an illegal man down the field? It was a lot of controversy in that. But hey man, we came out on top, and I mean, yeah, that feeling was amazing. It's so addictive. You know what I mean, guys? Like when you're in that mode. But it was really awesome to see all the Spartan dogs out there and the Spartan Nation. Making the crowd go crazy. It was an amazing time. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So, but anyhow, yeah, dude, those are some of my more memorable games, man. Yeah.
Oh man, that's
Okay,
great,
okay.
man. That's great. Yes. And as fans, I mean, like I said, Brian and I, we always chopped it up about the Michigan State football games. And
hmm
during that era, I mean, Brian would call me, Ken, did you see that play? I would call him, Brian, yo. Or we text each
right.
other like 3,000
Right.
Yeah.
times.
Right. Yeah,
And
dude.
quick
Go
thing
for
to
it.
let you know, Greg, about my brother. So Brian, he is like a super uber Spartan fan, right? Because
Okay.
he
I'm
will,
emotional. I can be.
yeah. No, but Brian, he's the only one I know. I love my brother to death. He's the
Amen.
only one I know who will actually record all the games and then watch the games like the next day. And then he'll call me and be like, oh, yo, I noticed this and I noticed that. Da, 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 da. I'm like,
I'm
dude,
a
you should be
fan.
like a
I'm a
coach.
fanatic for real.
Like,
Now I'm
like
not into
I
coaching. I don't know much about
no,
football, but I
well,
can. I just
I'm,
enjoy it. I just enjoy
hey,
watching Spartans.
I tell you something, Graham. I mean, Brian, because he recognizes stuff on the TV, and I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, what? He's like,
Right.
oh yeah, that linebacker, he did this, he faked him out, and I'm like, dude, you sure you don't want to be a coach? But
See,
that's
I
why we
don't know
brother,
that
started.
much about
That's why we.
football.
But
hey,
that's why we started the podcast, just because like I said, we're super Spartan fans. But my brother, he's yes. But I
man, I
love it.
would
I love
I
it.
would do, man, honestly, man, the coaching game is so wild, man, but the analyst game is wide open, Brian. Wide open, dude. I think that they're always looking for analysts. The resumes don't gotta be crazy. I mean, you look at some of these dudes. I myself, I analyze the analysts. Okay, so when I look at, I do because I'm like, dude, this dude done said some crazy stuff, and they bring up his resume. They talking about, oh, he just worked for ESPN. I'm like, this dude ain't play a down nowhere, right? But
Mm-hmm.
he on. Hey, look, he on the stage. He sounds smart. The analyst game is wide open, man. So that's something I would do as well too, man. Um, if you like to go back, but to Brian's point, when you record it, was really great. Is that in my mind, because we do the same thing. Because my wife Mandy is the radio for women's basketball,
Okay.
and yeah, and one thing we record the games and go back and watch them. And what's so nice about it, you don't got to worry about the commercial. You don't got to do none of that stuff. You just get
That's true.
right to the bone. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? You get right to it. So I think that's a great idea, man. Especially late, like if you don't, you know what I mean, you waiting. And you don't want to watch it live and have to deal with that stuff. Or like I said, I got 3 kids under 9 now, and they running wild. And then my son, this dude would get so excited, bro. He'd get so excited. He'd be like, "Dad, okay, come on, let's go in the backyard and just do what they did." I'm like, "Wait a minute, the game ain't over yet. It's only we going into halftime, and he want to go do a workout." I'm like, "Bro, like, yeah, we just wait till after the game." But I think that's what brings us together, man. Is the love of the game,
Mm-hmm.
that feeling we get. You know what I mean when we watch a game. You know, to Brian's point, man. Like, I think emotion's good. I really do. My wife would think I'm crazy for saying that because she's like, "You, I don't think you ever show any emotion." Like I do. I just don't. I'm not all over. But I think that emotion is good. I think it brings something out of you. I think, and that's why when they talk about the hardest sports or anything, man, it don't matter, man. Long as we come together, I think that's what's so great. I think, but I do believe that football brings the most together, right? More than any other sport in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Between us and soccer, I give soccer. Soccer got a lot of people. Them boys, I
Oh
don't,
yeah. Oh yeah.
they got. Man, I went to go see Brazil versus the. Brazil. It was a friendly game. It was Brazil versus Argentina
Mm-hmm.
in New York, and they hosted a friendly game, bro. They had drums and flags and their
I get
own little.
into it.
Bro, I was like, "What is this, bro?" And we had a great seat, and I got to see Lionel Messi play for the first time ever. And but anyhow, my point being is, man, as long as it brings us together in a positive nature, man, there's nothing wrong with that, brother. Nothing at all.
Oh no, agreed. Definitely
Yeah.
agreed. 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 So great. What you into now? What you doing in your
Oh,
post Spartan life?
oh my God, man, that's such a loaded question. I will start. I'm gonna work through as much as I can. I'm probably gonna forget something. Um, but my day job, I work for the Anchor Bay School District here in Michigan. I'm an activity supervisor. I coordinate events within the district for all the boys and girls. So, like flag football, 3-on-3 basketball, you know what I mean? You name it.
Mm-hmm.
I also run the aquatic center within that as well, too. I train at night, I train kids as well. I have my own flag football league here in the state of Michigan.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
Wow.
I have 3 locations. I have one in Macomb, one at another Spartan's place, at Matt Ishbia's place at UWM,
Okay.
and I have another one at Liggett University, just right there in the Southfield area as well too. I'm also a tournament director for 7-on-7 football, so uh, as well too. That's located in Brighton, Michigan. I've been doing that. I've been running those tournaments, man, for going on this will be my 10th year, man. Wow. So during my off season, I started doing that as well too. So man, I've been all over, and I'm also into real estate. I do stuff with First Securities Home Mortgage here in Michigan, helping people, get great loans for their first homes, or if they're looking to sell or buy. And then, looking to get into more commercial stuff as well. But yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of other like pop up stuff um, here and there, mental performance, all that stuff with a company called Piva as well too. But yeah, man, we have our own clothing line.
Oh, that's
Also,
dope.
yeah, dude, please check us out. It's called By Day, By Night.
Okay.
Uh, it's really good, man. We have, clothes you can work out in, clothes you can dress up, clothes, the whole thing. So that's why we went with the name By Day, By Night.
Okay.
Um, yeah, guys, please check us out. We just released our men's line called the Date Night as well. That I'm really, really excited about, and we'll be building on to that also. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Man, I think I got everything, man. I feel like the first time I was able to kind of remember everything. And then yeah, man, like I said before, man, wife and 3 kids and everything. And then I coach my son's team. I coach little league, football.
Okay.
And
So
that
he keep
is,
real busy.
I know,
bro,
man.
bro. I just came back from vacation and I felt like, man, I got hit with like 1,000 bullets. It's like this happened, but it's all good, I mean, as you guys can tell, everything I believe synergizes and it just brings a lot of people together, and I'm excited about what I do. Oh, and the last thing, sorry, I speak at schools, share my message, like very similar
Okay.
to some of the questions you have. I go around to elementaries, uh, speaking at schools with a company called Positive U.
Mm-hmm.
And we go around speaking to schools, share my message. I'm a Section 8 housing kid out of Cincinnati. And the question is, how does a Section 8 housing kid win a Super Bowl? And I share that journey and how that happened, and it's fun, man. It's really fun. The inspiration, and something I was talking about with a guy I played with, Brandon Denson, is everybody, and I really I'm passionate about this. Needs or wants inspiration, but a lot of
Oh
us,
yeah.
don't have it
100%.
sometimes. Yeah,
Right.
and and that's what keeps us going. That's what keep us driving, and you look and keep our eyes and that hope, and getting up out of bed and get excited to go after it. And so it's been really cool to work with the youth. We have pretty much the fifth grade program where I speak to a lot of the fifth graders. But I've done high school, I've done corporate, all the above. But I'm really passionate about speaking with the youth because those are our future.
Most
And
definitely.
you know what I mean, like, and they're at that fringe age, that 11, at 10, 11, 12, where like things are starting to like really starting to click in. and
Yeah.
and,
Yes,
and why,
indeed.
you know what I mean, and why does that happen, and why shouldn't I be saying this, and should I start looking at these things, you know what I mean, really guarding their thoughts at that age. And that's why I love to go and speak to that particular age. It's been really fun working with them, and sharing a little bit about my life growing up as a kid, and going through the struggles, and being blessed and fortunate enough to be where I am now. It's just been an amazing journey. It really has. I mean, from going to a Big Ten championship in 2010, then 2011 winning the Super Bowl. You know what I mean, dude? Like, the ups and downs. I broke my leg in 2012, got back on another team in 2013. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
just the ups and downs, and being able to share those things with the kids, I think is they need it. That
Oh yeah, they
today
do. They do.
today's
Yes.
world is
100% they
not
do.
not a time where like you can say something like and people just believe it. Everything we do now is all show and tell. And so for me to come out, bring my Super Bowl ring and let them try it on, you know what I mean, because that's the first thing I get. Like, let me see it. I'm like, okay, good, it's right here. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not no pawn shop nowhere or anything like that. I mean, that's no shade to any of the guys in those situations, but that's just something that's just realistic that they can see, and I'm proud, to share those messages with them, and hopeful that they can take that and be inspired by that and go after their dreams. And then I ran all out of them, but I used to bring my rookie card, and I signed a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of them, and pass them out. But whatever I can do to inspire them, and it's tough, man, because they only get to see him like that one time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, I've done some after school stuff, but it's tough. Even then, I'm only seeing them once a week, and they need that constant reminder, and it's not just inner city. I've done inner city. I've done the private schools. I've done, you name it, man. I've went to the halfway homes, everything, dude. To go and try to inspire as many kids as I can, and it's very rewarding, man. I mean, I can't tell you how many times after the fact that somebody I've spoken to comes up to me, man, you came to my school, and I'm doing my grades, and I'm doing good in school, all these things,
Mm-hmm.
and that makes me happy, man. That makes me happy, and that feeds me. It really does. So, but yeah, that's pretty much. I was keeping an eye on the clock. I was like, man, everything took like 5 minutes, but yeah, that's
No,
that's
it's all
pretty much,
good.
man.
It's
Yes,
all
sir.
good.
Everything I do, and as of right now, until I put something else on top of it, but. As of right now, man, yeah, guys, that's everything I do, and I appreciate it again, guys, the opportunity to be in your platform, and to fellowship with you guys, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem, man. And whatever information you can send us, about
Yeah,
all of the things you're
I'll
involved
send
in,
you all my
we
links. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
send you
yeah,
all
we'll
my
put
yeah,
it on
free
here.
links.
yeah, we'll definitely put it. We'll definitely support you, man. And put
I
everything,
appreciate it.
incorporated here into the podcast. We'll get the word out for you. This will get you out here. And one last question, and that
Yeah,
is,
go for it.
what are your current thoughts of this current team, the current MSU team with Coach Smith now coming in, and
Yes.
what he's trying to do? What are your thoughts on the current football
I
team?
I think that we're out of doubt. We're hitting the reset button, and I say that in a good way. I think that we need to.
Mm-hmm.
We've and I'm not, and we probably, not to beat a dead horse, but of all the things that we've gone through with Mel and all these allegations and just the school in general.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We definitely need to hit the reset button here, and based off the from what I saw on the schedule, I think we can. I think that our first goal needs to be bowl eligible. I
Mm-hmm.
think that we have to we got to get a win outside the conference in a big way. I think we got to do that. I think we got to win more games away than we ever have. I think that's something we got to be able to win on the road. But I think this staff coming in, from what I've seen and what I've heard, from talking to some of my guys that are still on campus during the day to day, there's a lot of good things that Coach Smith is trying to do, and from what I can tell, the young guys, I got a couple guys I work with that are playing for state. From what I can tell, he is becoming a man of his word, and trying to right the ship in the best way that he can,
Mm-hmm.
given the circumstances. So I have hope. I have faith in them. I do think he can get it done. We got a good quarterback. I think the kid's good that just came in. I think he can play. I just think he needs to be consistent. I think that's something that we lacked at that position, is that we.
Mm-hmm. We want to thank Mr. Greg Jones to be on our show here. And this is Q the Woodshed. Stay tuned for more of our Classic Spartan series. And we're out. Peace.
Peace.